Hello friends, in this video we will discuss about commodification of education. We are covering all the sociology current affairs with a sociological dimension which will be extremely helpful for MEANS 2024 students. So let's start the lecture. First of all, we will try to understand what is commodification of education. So initially education was something which was seen as a tool to change the society, a public good, but then it transformed into becoming a good which is tradable, which is measured through money value instead of use value. When it became a marketable product, then it became commodified. Now there was a huge competition for it to provide you as a package, as a product, as a commodity, instead of something which will empower you. So this process is called as commodification of education. Now, we will see a bit of background, a bit of historical background. So initially, the traditional education model, specifically in India, was inspired from Guru Shishya Parampara, but slowly with the time, specifically after the LPG reforms, before LPG reforms, it was mostly state-driven education, the government-run educational institutions. After LPG reforms, there was mushrooming of private schools, private colleges, and slowly, with the increase in income of middle class uh, people or the burgeoning of middle class, there was more demand for education which will provide them the employment. And then it led to a massive crowd approaching fields like engineering, management, uh, MBBS or doctors, per se the medical industry. And with this, there was a lot of coaching institutions and private colleges further, which enhanced and further made education an expensive commodity far from the people of marginalized section. So this is an overview of what is commodification of education with a historical perspective. And now we will see all the theoretical perspectives. So the first of all, if education is commodified, it will be not accessible to all. So the people who are in the lower rung of economic hierarchy, they will struggle to get the education. So it will further exacerbate or enhance the social inequality. So this is the first thing which you have to understand. And further, it will reinforce the hierarchy which exists in the society. So what type of hierarchy exists in society? It can be caste hierarchy, it can be class hierarchy, and most of the time in India, the caste and class hierarchy overlap. So it will further strengthen that. Also, there is a theory which has been propounded by Pierre Bourdieu, and he had given the theory of the cultural reproduction. So the person who will have more economic capital, they will only have cultural capital as well, because they will be able to get the higher education with the use of money power. With the use of coaching industries, they will be able to reach into the higher hierarchies of government, or to study in educational institutions which are hard to get into, like IITs, AIMS, all these institutions. People of higher economic capital will be able to go. So this will further enhance the cultural reproduction. Now we will see we have seen the detail of Pierre Bourdieu's concept. Now we'll see more theoretical concepts, because if you have to write an answer, you will have to give different dimensions to get good marks. The second theoretical perspective is that commodification of education has not only made education non-inclusive, but also it has made education suiting to higher class. The attributes which higher class has, like English speaking attribute, this is seen as something which is the sine qua, or the which signifies your intelligence. So the measurement of intelligence has become the characteristics of higher class. So if you are speaking English, you are speaking fluent and good English, then you are intelligent and you will get good jobs. You will get, it is seen as skill, it is also seen as a status symbol. So both of these are present in this. Now, what happens after this? If someone from humble background, after struggling a lot, entered into a prestigious institutions like the university or IITs or some big institutions, and then he is not able to speak English, he will be made fun of. He will be excluded. He then will resort to deviant behavior. He will start not going to schools. He will start not going to colleges per se. And then he will feel that he is not that intelligent. And that can range into strains, frustrations, social exclusions, and many range of deviant activities just to cope up with that stress. And here you will use Merton, of course. Another perspective is Marxist perspective. Marxist perspective is that it is a form of class reproduction. Bourgeoisie class is reproducing their own classes. They are further solidifying their position through commodification of education. And Althusser has said that it is a state apparatus. And state is controlled by whom? State is controlled by people who have more money, the bourgeoisie class again. So the commodification of education is tool to have class reproduction and to strengthen the ideological apparatus of state. You will mention Althusser name as well here. And there is a concept of false meritocracy also given by Marxist, where education system creates illusion of equal opportunity while maintaining inequality. So the characteristics of finding merit is mostly driven by the attributes of the higher class. I gave you the example of English speaking. There will be more like body languages, some sophisticated body languages. Now people studying from the government school, how will they have these kinds of sophisticated trainings? So all of these are the measures of the commodification of education. Now we will give the perspective, the feminist perspective. So feminist perspective says that the commodification of education is impacting the women more because they are the ones who do not have the economic capital. If you see the worldwide the ownership of production rate or data, women have very less ownership of property. So it is impacting them more. And the fields specifically like STEM, science and technology, engineering, mathematics, where you need more money to get into higher education, where there is competition, there is the participation of women is very, very less. Also, the curriculum is reproducing the gender role as suggested by the Angela McRobbie and Sui Lees. So you will mention these names while you will be writing these points. Also, the career guidance, the accessibility to coaching. If we see in our initiatives, the ratio of students from the female is more than male because our course fees are less. So more women are taking education in our courses because they will not be able to go and enroll for courses which is expensive. Again, this is something which is reinforcing what I had studied in sociology. And also because of this lack of opportunity in STEM, research and management and all, their contribution in leadership roles further decrease. And this runs like a cycle. If you have less representation in leadership, again, the actions which will be taken will not be for the betterment of women, and this cycle will go on and go on. This is a vicious cycle. Okay, so what is the way forward? What is the way forward to come out of this? There needs to be policy reforms from the government. There needs to be cap on the fees, like the Delhi government has taken steps. There should be adequate facilities in the state-run education institutions. There should be schemes for women, for marginalized section, so that they can also go and take higher education. And the curriculum should be inclusive. The language should not be the parameter of intelligence. The new education policy has taken a lot of positive steps. The one is to have education in the native mediums, even the engineering and the medical. This is a very, very good step, can have a far-reaching changes If you go to Germany, they are not reading things in English, they are reading in their German. So why we are reading things only in English? I'm not saying that English should be debarred, because English has become a kind of second or third language in the country, but there should be opportunity for the people who do not know English or are not comfortable. It should not become a parameter of exclusion. So with this, we will end our lecture. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes.